I want to welcome you all together in today's webinar, as usually hosted by the Open Telekom Cloud community. As you all may know, every month at least one webinar, usually last Friday of the month, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. We are hosting one webinar. Today we are having Hector Lopez Romero, our product manager from the Open Telekom Cloud, together with us. And with this, I am giving over to Hector. Thank you for having you here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, then let's start. Just a few words about me. If you don't know who I am, as a product manager, I am responsible for databases and orchestration services on the Open Telekom Cloud. And yeah, today we will have some introduction about this database, what we are doing on database on the OTC, and give you also some briefly information where are we looking forward in the future, and of course final showing you a demo. But now let's start. When you get here an overview, then on our OTC service, then we have the database. In this case, we're talking about this relational database, document database, and in memory, so the CS service. So in this case, for today, it's only just this tree. And then let's start taking a look. What are the benefits, of course, of databases on the OTC? I think from most of you, it is clear databases on a cloud and hyperscalers. It is just the best value a cloud can offer to every customer, because they are looking for a managed service that just can be changed the size depending of the current use and usage of the resource on databases. And there is nothing that you have to start just buying new hardware, find a timeline to do this maintenance, and so on. So in this case, it is more like, and when you don't want it anymore, you can also just delete it, and you don't have just to figure out where to sell the current hardware because you don't need it, or just try to transfer this to other departments. So I think for databases, it's exactly what it fits. It just help you a lot with the databases that you want to offer to your customers. And one of course, the one course on the or telecom cloud, I mean Open Telekom Cloud, it is also the security advantage and also the encryption on the of your data on the databases. So you have in a very good shape only just to own these databases. So in short, they are flexible, of course, and then it's based on the requirements of every company. You can just get small databases. We are talking about small about the amount of resources, CPUs, or just really large databases, depending on your use case. So in this case, most important, it is not like the database is just still running with data inside with very critical data. It's more that also the replications, I mean the redundancy of your data, it's still on the Open Telekom Cloud also have replicas. So if some of the data on this replica get lost, just create a new replica, and you will always have your data. That is not the most nice things of the databases. So now the question is, what do we have now? By now in RDS, you should know for relational databases, I mean from the first of these three services, we offer MySQL, PostgreSQL, and Microsoft SQL. For these three, you may see also the versions that we offer. For most of the people, they are always, I mean, our customers are more focused not on the major version. For example, for MySQL, it is 8.0, or for the commercial version of MySQL 5.7 and 5.6, it's more that customers are looking about the minor release of this, for example. And one of the reasons is just to see how far are they with the policies that they have in their companies, on just to see if this can also be fulfilled. In such a case, when you try to get a deployment of our database, this is what you will see. What we want to know, it's a little bit more deeper, what is behind this. So that means what is then really happening about this. In this case, it is missing that we don't show exactly the full minor version when you just deploy one of these databases. But it is, of course, with intention, because it is not like we have to update all the time this. It is just that this minor version release will appears when you after you create instance. And in this case, you may probably see now, for example, for MySQL, we have the 8.0 with the minor release to 25 and so on. So for the Postgres, exactly the same version. As you probably see, I don't have any version then in enhanced edition. And what is enhanced edition, right? Because it is just like a Postgres, but what can we do this one? This one is more focused for compatibility with Oracle. So if you have an Oracle or you are thinking to get out from Oracle, start looking forward for another options. In this case, the PostgreSQL Enhanced Edition could probably solve this issue that you have. This is based on Postgres 11, so it is just Postgres 11 with some plugins of Oracle, and then this should be enough for you to start thinking about probably to move into PostgreSQL. From Microsoft SQL Servers, I know we have really 2017. We are now in the year 2022, so that means the latest version of Microsoft SQL is 2019. They say about that there will be a version 2020, 2000 or 2021. Officially from Microsoft, it is the latest 2019, and this is the direction we will move in the next future in this direction. So in this case, then we have this. So what I would like to show you is what we have just looking forward in the future, only just to deliver new functionalities on each of these services. In this case, just keeping on RDS. So in this RDS, we have this MySQL. Then we have now a new minor release. This minor release, for example, for the 5.6, it is the 51. It is the latest version that officially has been published by MySQL on this commercial release. And this we already start offering this on the OTC if you already have some of this instance deployed. On that direction, exactly the same happened also this week. So with version 5.7, now we have the 5.737. This release is related from this year, January 22. So that means if you have also one of these instances that you have already created, then just go to update to the minor release. And with the version 8, yeah, it is then an actual version that we have from 8.025. We just have before that, I think, starting on this year, 8.021. And so if you don't know how to do this upgrade, I can just show you just briefly so that you have an idea what we are talking about this. So if you go there to your tenant on the OTC and just move to the RDS, for example, in this case, I have here version 8.021. When you have this one, you just select the instance here on this part, and after selecting this on the DB information, you will find here one option that it is update minor version, so upgrade minor version. In this case, when you set up, it is not that it will be do this time. So it show exactly what you will have, what you will achieve after doing this minor version upgrade. And of course, you can do it just right now, or just select a maintenance window. This maintenance window has been selected when you, for example, decide here it will be, for example, staying from 8 to mid of the night. So in this case, this can be happen. Just please keep in mind a very, very important thing that you need to know. After you did this minor version upgrade, then it will be not possible to revert back to the old version that you have. So that means if you do this only just forward, it will be stay like it is. So let's go back to this slide so that you probably know what I mean with this minor release upgrade. For that all one feature that we are not moving now on the version level, we're now on the features level. The features level we have we will support this of backup encryption. So in backup encryption is an OBS, and then when you have there is your data, that will be then select which key you want to use for the encryption, and this is it. So this will be happen also in the next. By now, we have also some customers that they are asking about the extension of the APIs that we offer for RDS. And this will be also one of the features that we want also to deliver the next. In this case, features that means in the API we have some endpoints that they are still available based on incidents that we got from customers expecting another kind of functionalities on the API level. Then they have already sent us the list or desired that they want to use because they are using the API for automation on RDS deployment. And in this case, we have already analyzed all that stuff, and then we will deliver then an extension of it. Moving forward also with the features that we want also to deliver for MySQL. It was just from some customer being asked that database is still running all the time, but sometimes they don't want to save money, of course, and they want to or figure out if it is possible to stop the database. This case, will be one feature that will be also delivered. This start-stop database, it is exactly it will work similar as the other hyperscalers that we have there outside. For example, you should know that this start-stop will be used for works for a certain time amount. So that means you will not be able to stop the database for the whole month or for the whole year. So that will be, of course, make not too much sense. And that is the reason that also the intention of this stop functionality will be just work for some time. Another enhancement request for another customer was with the support settings for lowercase table names during creation of MySQL will be also delivered. And next one, it will be to reduce the risk by deleting database backups, because as you know, if you by now just select a database and just delete it, it will be automatically deleted, not only the database, also their backups that they also created from database. From some customers, seems like they would like to just get a reduction of this risk and just try to figure out to avoid this situation, because after that it will be, let's say, impossible to revert all that deletion. It could be from some times, if you have deleted the database right now, you have to know it will be start a process in the user interface. It will be seen that it is deleted, but in the background, it will be start a process that the deletion of these remaining backups and so on will be then executed, for example, at midnight of today. So that means if you did a mistake by deleting a database and you contact our support to get all that data back, it will be possible on the same day, even if it is not visible on the console. So we have some kind of happenings in the past about this, but this kind of sporadical deletion was just help a lot some customers because they didn't do this with intentional deletion. But now we will have now in the user interface another way to exactly avoid such kind of deletion, just as like this. One of the last features that we will offer on MySQL, it is the upgrade of the public trusted certificate. So we are moving now to deliver also our OTC certificate that it will be just more secure, and that will be exactly a very good value for the end customers. Now let's move from another version that we also support on the Relational Database Service. It is this Microsoft SQL. On Microsoft SQL, as I told you before, we are offering 2070. The 2070 Until now, will not support a Active Directory from Microsoft. Now, our intention is exactly to offer this because there are too many customers asking about this. So we will plan to deliver this in the next quarter, so in Q3. And the same thing for the Enterprise Edition. For the Enterprise Edition, you have to know this transport data encryption. It's just supported on Enterprise Edition. If you want to ask for us to have this feature on standard edition of Microsoft, technical speaking, it's not possible because also Microsoft don't offer that. So it is the reason we have this into separate package. The other one is, of course, just move forward with the versioning of Microsoft SQL. In this case, then we would like to offer also 2019. And now we have already started a process. So just when the new version of Microsoft SQL, probably 2019, will be on the market, we have found a way to speed up the release and not to wait a long time only just to get this version on the Open Telecom Cloud. So that is just a very good value that we already achieved right now, and then just we are looking forward to see when the next release from Microsoft will be available, and then you will see that we will respond in a very good time. Next two topics, I think it is already explained in the past. It should be also be available for Microsoft SQL, and this will be also be deliver a very real good value. Now, based on PostgreSQL, so if we were talking about PostgreSQL, this is also a database that there's really very used. I mean, so one of the trends database that we are using at the Open Telecom Cloud. Of course, we already realized that the version 12 that we have is not the latest one. So now we are speeding really up what happened in the past, and then we are now looking forward to deliver this in Q3, the version 30.6. And with that, then at least be on the best shape that we are offering a new version. This stop functionality I already mentioned, also the backup and the extension of the API support. We are also now thinking about the release of PostgreSQL 14.2. It will be not for Q3, it will be probably released in Q4, but nevertheless, we are now looking forward to now speed up exactly this Postgres major version release. So based on that, and I think for RDS, that will be exactly what we want to achieve. I mean, on the feature side, on the version side, that is really important. And now we have also on databases two other services, this DCS, as you know, this Redis, and the other one is the document database, NoSQL solution, of course. And in this DCS and DDS, at least we have on DCS Redis 3.0. With this 3.0, it's let's say not exactly the blast, so it's the version, but we are looking forward to next. I mean, when I say next, it is in Q3. To look forward to support a newer version of this. And from the other side, let's say on the document database, we have then on our Open Telecom Cloud the Community Edition. This Community Edition is also be offer also from another hyperscalers. I don't want to say name which one, but you know if you already are working with the highest hyperscalers around the world, then you just have to know they are also working or just on Community Edition. The Community Edition has just a little thing, small thing. With the version 4.0, after version 4.03, they change this to a license model that it will be not more Community Edition, and then we will then push to pay for license fees if we want to offer this on our Open Telecom Cloud. And that is a reason that most of all other hyperscalers just offering exactly the latest 4.0 and not more than this one, even if the commercial version of MongoDB, for example, it's already by 5 dot something. So in this case, if we move now, focus on the DCS and versions, first of all, then as I told you before, it is not that we just want to be staying on the with version 3. We would like to offer also version 4 and 5. With this version 4 or 5, at least we will offer you more updated versions that also customers also are focused on this because of new features enhancement, and this will be exactly a very good value. For this one, we are planning for Q3 also to deliver these versions. Probably mid of Q3, we will be already have these two versions, and the version of 6, it is just now on the plan because it is not that easy to just deliver versions as they just appear on the market. You know, when we have to deliver one specific a new version, it has to pass through many tests and deployments only just to be sure that we are offering you a productive service that will be not die after 5 minutes of deployment. So in this case, then when we just moving on the direction of versioning, you have to know the Open Telekom Cloud has a second region. In this second region, the main intention in the Netherlands is that customers will have an option to offer kind of solution for high availability, and in this case the second region will really match these use cases. So by now, before we just have one region, so for high availability use case will be only just when one of the availability zones just run down. Of course, until now this didn't happen, but as a company and as a really architect that are working on high availability of applications, it is just one must-have options that they have to figure out and work on it only just to don't lose business. So in this case, by now we have deployed. So if you move to our browse to our Open Telecom Cloud, and the second region, you will see that we already have offered this DDS version 3.4 at least. And then we are looking forward for this next month to offer the Mongo 403. As I told you before, it is the community edition. And with this community edition will be by now the latest and latest versions that could be offered by now as community edition. We're working now on ways how to move forward, probably as a managed service to offer licensed MongoDBs that are really updated, like version 5 and something. But just keep in mind, it is there. We're talking about two different versions because one is a license, so we have to figure out which price should we then offer if we want to move on this new version with license model, and the estimations are now working on the behind the scenes. It's not at all, of course. We are now thinking about offering a version of after Mongo 403. It will be called DDS dot point zero, and with this 2.0, we will offer then it is not a Mongo 4.2. Just to be clear, it is used based on a Mongo 403 with some kind of compatibilities. I mean, just add-ons that will be used partial compatibility with comparing with a Mongo 4.2. Most of our customers are just thinking that this DDS, it is just MongoDB one by one, but that's not. It is just that we are offering a compatibility to Mongo. And of course, there was also one question because when you just deploy DDS, then it seems like you are deploying one with just two instances, and most of the customers they want also used to use one instance, a single instance for a non-production deployment because they are interested only just to start having this instance just for the testing on applications and data and whatever that they want to use, and that is the reason that we will deliver also a new feature. And in this feature will be is the option that you could be also deployed in DDS a single node instance. By the way, also, do we realize that we have this with this DDS some kind of limitation on the API level? So that means we are looking forward also to extend that support of APIs that we have, and that is the reason that it's also part of our um, plans for the Q3. So if we then just start by now, start thinking what we would like to achieve soon. So you will see exactly here a roadmap that I have designed. And it in this roadmap, we are just having here an overview. In this case, then you will see exactly the versions that we are planning to offer, just planning. So it is also at least a little bit planned. So that means here, if you see here this point, that means we already deliver the DDS in the with this flag using Netherlands. So that means the second region, and in the second region we already deliver these NoSQL solutions for DDS. Then we will then move forward, and then we start delivering, for example, DCS and DDS at the same time. So in this Q3, so beginning of Q3, and then after we have the deployment on the German region, we will then continue with the deployment on the Netherlands, so that at the end we have consolidations on both regions of the same versions and same product on both regions. As you probably may see here, you will find that there's not just that we will have just as I started with RDS, like MySQL, Microsoft, and DDS, DCS. You will find here, for example, two new good stories, two new services. It is one, it's called GaussDB MySQL, and the other one, it is GaussDB Cassandra. Cassandra, as you probably know, outside in the market, Cassandra is a NoSQL solution. And we are now planning on this. So that means it's also part that we want to extend our services. It's not just that we just want keep the existence one. And there are too many reasons why we do want to offer these two services. I will then show you later why. As you will see on the last, starting by Q1, then it is at least planned. So that means the delivery probably could be start before, but we are not sure. By now, it is on this meeting, of course, then I can tell you that it is just in the planning. Hopefully, then we will achieve this, but let's see. And this is a roadmap is, of course, based on versions level. If then we think about the features level, then you will see also that for Q3, at least the features that I really mentioned before to you, only used to have the overview of the features. They're also here mentioned. And then with this, then you will see we have also a set of features requests that customers already has reported to us, and we are willing to deliver in the next quarter. That is the reason that you don't see Q4, because we are already started with Q4, the planning of the features. So that means we are looking exactly not just only on the existing features that we have, only for what other features could be make sense for the next quarter, and so it will be decide how we will deliver. In this case, the features that you will see here, they are not listed that we want to deliver in the first month. This is just that the features are listed for Q3, so please do not believe that we will just deliver on the beginning of Q3 all these features. It is a little bit quite soon possible, but it will be just show you exactly what we are planning to deliver. So for a document database, of course, it is just also this part that we of features that we will to deliver. In this case, it is just two of them. So as you probably may see, our main focus is more for RDS, and one of the biggest reason is because in RDS are one of the most important consumption of database point of view, so that we have a lot of customers that they are using the services. And of course, we want to achieve that most of the customers get more happy, let's say like that, with our delivery new features. So as I told you before, I talked to you about two new services. These two new services are one of them is the GaussDB for MySQL. It will be only just offered for MySQL, so that means it should be keep remaining on RDS as on the database services. But this will be delivered, of course, a very big value. One of these big value it is and our MySQL database, when you just create one, you will have a limitation on disk. The limitation on disk it is by 4 terabytes, as far as I know, and then you cannot increase it more. Technically speaking, it could be increased a little bit if it is really, really, really necessary, but this little bit, it's just really a little bit, not more than that. For our customers that we also already have, they are asking about, they are working with huge, large databases that they are looking for what only just for a solution for this use case, right? One of these long stories, it is, for example, that an existing customer has now a push to share database and to use shards in this database, it is just really time consumption. It is has to be just one level up of this, and the main big story or solution will be only just to have one database that delivers high performance, and this with this high performance also on the storage side, it is not just really small limited. It can just support even more. In this case, then we find out that this GaussDB it is one of the solutions that will be really fit this market. So for customers that they are really using big database will solve their current problems, and that is the reason that we want to offer in this way. One of the benefits, as you see there on this slide, it will be just the storage that is really huge, so you can use it. The other one, it is full compatible with MySQL, so it is, but please keep in mind MySQL version 8.0. So if you want to have a support of 5.6 or 5.7 that are the commercial version, that will be not this is the case. And then in this case, you can also, then if you have this big database, you can use also 15 read replicas in this case. That is also a very good value for many customers when they have a huge amount on last and have suffering a lot of performance issues, then this database will be solved this case. In this case, what is the difference about the standard MySQL and this GaussDB? It is a big difference because the compute storage are really decoupled from the architecture, and that means it will be then make and deliver more stability and performance on the database side. Of course, this is only just focused for really high customers. If you have just one homepage in your store or small companies, I don't think it will be make sense to move to GaussDB. The other one thing is that we have also customers that are asking about the migrations. As I showed you on the beginning of this session, the minor upgrade version option is already there. So for minor releases, it is very good because this will be just a fit, for example, for MySQL best, because the major release from MySQL at least has been don't change too much. It is just the change on the minor releases, and this is really the perfect solution that we have. But for we talk about, for example, PostgreSQL, then we will see that PostgreSQL it's really delivering a new major version every year. It is in October. And probably on this time, then customers still asking about to migrate, for example, from 9.5 to 9.6 or version 10 to 11, 11 to 12, and so on. So in this case, for the major release, we have until now the options used in the documentation. We have a documentation, and you have to do this all manually. For most of the customers, it's really a big pain point, let's say like that. And for that reason, then we will have a solution in this case, and this is the data replication service. With this data replication service, then you will be able to do this task automated. So by this solution, and with this data replication service, you use the service, choose from which instance of RDS you want to migrate, to which target version do you want to use it, and this should work. That is exactly the main focus of this service. You can use it, of course, for another task like syncs of databases. It's also possible. The way how it works, it is a little bit simple. This data replication service create an instance. This instance that has been created need access for both RDS instance, in this case for two different PostgreSQL versions, and that is the mandatory. So if you don't have any connections through security group, of course, or VPC peering, something like that, I think that will be the solution that can fit in this case. Then you will be able then at that point to use it. So for migration step, for sync of databases, so that will be a really big benefit. Now for the GaussDB, if you want to ask which what we can offer also on this GaussDB, since it's also a kind of also supporting MySQL, in GaussDB you will be also have the possibility to do a minor version upgrade, and then this will be also a very good possibility for you. So in this case, I would like now from the, let's say, the marketing part, his overview part of databases, then move of the second part of this committee meeting. So in this case, it will be just an example of a database deployment using Terraform that I have designed by myself. So for just to save some time, just show you again Terraform. Since I hope you have already enjoyed on this year. We have a lot of Terraform webinars on the community that were really great. So to see how easy to use is that, and to be honest, most of our customers that are really working in on developing RDS as a daily business for them, the automation using Terraform on other tools, it is just a must-have. So for the ones that you have one RDS instance on the OTC or are just creating just a few of them, could be just, of course, solve some task, but for the ones that are using there more often, will solve a lot of time. Let me share with you now. Here, so in this Terraform, then as you may see, I have exactly the models that I am using. In this case, the models that I use for this, it will be these RDS models. And if you already are aware about how Terraform works, I hope it is just you need a main file and var file. So a provider, so to how to communicate, and just if you want to do this more efficient, then you create the models there that you want to use, and this is it. So there's not too much magic. The Terraform, one of the important things or what nice things that we have now in Terraform is you can use also most of the options that we offer also on RDS. So that means you just select the security groups, design them about how do you want to use it for the database, design. On the other part, you create, of course, the security groups for each database. In this case, I just create the security groups for each one, because we know that the ports that are used for the database are different from each vendor. And in this case, then the moreover, it will be more the most core, I think, for the deployment will be only just this snip of code. And with that, then you just set exactly what you want to have. If you want to support HA, I mean, for high availability, then I just have to uncomment these three parts, and that will be enough only just to use HA on this deployment. So I think there are not too much magic. I use also for the encryption of the disk, because I do want to have a secure database also. After deployment, I'll have the disk encryption here. So I have everything there declared on this, and then after that, just create the big file. As you will see, I just create for each version specific deployment on version 5.6, 5.7, and so on for MySQL, Postgres, and this is it. So that means, as you probably see, it's more like just copy and paste, but nevertheless, the most important thing, this deployment is just for automation. So if I have just one error, I will find it fast because it is now just here fixed. It has not been done manually, so it will be just really a big value. After having this, the only one thing that you have to do is use on the command line, execute Terraform. So in this case, I just use this Terraform in it. On the project side, I have just a jump server on the OTC, and with this jump server, I just start this deployment. There are other approach, for example, using here also from Visual Studio Code, you can also set the connection there, only just to go to get the deployment from your laptop, and this is it. The other one that I'm really more frequently using is to use a Linux on the OTC. With this jump server, I just start the deployment and then just did it. I did already this deployment before because I don't want to boring just or spend the time only just to see lines that you're executing. So in this case, if we are just moving again to the tenant, then we will see that in this tenant that I just want to deploy RDS, then already just deployed there. John, you will see here, for example, these are the database that I created, also with a specific version that you see right now. They are still all running, and the benefit, of course, is by more big deployments, just execute the code, and this is it. And you can execute the code for each of the projects that you have, because most of the companies, they just don't use one project. They have, for example, one project for development, one for production, QA, and so on. So for that, once this deployment will be really, really very straightforward, and nowadays it is a must-have for every company. After you can see this here, then you will see that all the database are still running. So if we pick an eye on it, then we will see that everything has been set as I use the site. There, all other things that you will always save by using Terraform is the password, because I have then designed it on the var files from this Terraform solution, also a strong password, so I don't have to type it again 20 times only just to get that. And as told you before, then also from the storage, then I have already storage that has been encrypted with the sync key, so it is a really straightforward solution. If I would like only just to prove that this deployment that I show that I have here deployed just a few minutes ago, then that it is exactly the deployment that I use for this deployment. Just let's do exactly the opposite. Just delete all that deployment, and then when we start deleting the deployment, then we will see that all this what we have deployed here just before will be deleted. So in this case, I think for if you're interested about Terraform, because it's not just like a Terraform this and that. So I can show you here, for example, from our OTC, we have a Terraform link. I think also in the other sessions, then you already know that we have then a Terraform link there, and with this Terraform, then you can also access all other services that we are offering right now. So I think the one that I use for this, it will be this one. But if you are more, you know all others, you can also create and adapt exactly your Terraform project, only just not for databases in this case, because I wanted to show you databases. I create just one for databases. I have more other projects when I just create a full environment only just for other services that I prepare only just for demo stuff. So let's see. Then we have the database just deleted. It is just straightforward, and I didn't have to choose exactly for each one more, delete, and then type delete, and so on. So that means also for this deletion of this, it is really, really very nice how it's working. Now we are moving exactly for the most interesting part. I have said here, for example, in this also the product side of RDS, if you are interested to know about more RDS. So if we move there, then you will see the databases that we have there. There is also this side on the Open Telecom Cloud that you will see. We have there, for example, some technical reason why you want to use it. Also, the versions that we are supporting, if you want to see what are the comparison of each version, if we have the support of for high availability, primary standby. So we have also a list of them, upgrade of minor versions. So also a link to the documentation, how to do it the same way as I show you, and some constraints about all of this, because it is really important that you know exactly where are the limits on the using of this. So the other thing that we have, for example, Terraform, I showed you just before, and the community, of course, it's really important because we also pick an eye on the community. If somebody has some issues with database or are expecting a missing feature database, we also take in account what has been then delivered, and we will also take part of our next planning for future quarters and this year for the delivery. Help Center is also a very nice thing, because on the documentation, you will find most of the information that you will need to know about this. For example, if you will think, okay, um, I hear from Hector today. He showed me something about GaussDB, and I'm really interested to know more about this, because it seems to me that could be really a very good feature that I want to know. We don't have now in production the GaussDB, but the documentation, it's possible to be accessed here on the documentation. So if you, for example, you use set GaussDB there, then you will see on the results that there will be GaussDB there and the documentation side, and then you can start use scrolling and see what is this good for, basic concepts, benefits, constraints, and so on. So that means in this case, if you need to know more information, you know, or documentation of the OTC, it's really worth to pick an eye on it. If we want, for example, to know about the data replication service, exactly the same story. So if we move to RDS, you will see also about, so you will get some information about how this works and these functions and features and so on. So now I think I will then will really want to hear some questions if you have. So now it's your time.
So the first question is popping in from Marcus. For Postgres, what is meant by reduce risk by deleting data and backups at once?
Yes, for databases, when you move to databases and just select delete the database, then you will delete not just the database, also the backups that are being automated. So that means actually, the normal use case is just not just create a database. You have to set also an automation every day, a backup of the database. You have also the option there on RDS, and you, for example, set for I want to get the database backup automatically every day at mid of the night, and you want the retention time from the last 7 days or 10 days, whatever. You have this right, this set there. By deleting this, the database, it will be delete also this automated, the automated backups that has been generated, because this is also belongs to the database, and that is the meaning the reducing the risk. So in reducing the risk, we will set then an option there in the service, so that it will be more clear that by doing this, you will also delete also the automated backups. The manual backups that you start manually on the user interface, that will be not deleted. But I think that this feature will only just solve the first.
Okay, thank you, Hector. I hope this was sufficient for you, Marcus. If not, you can reply in the chat. One next question is from Bakshar. Can we get an example of DRS use front-end part?
An example from a part. Just in this DRS, you have just two options in DRS. You select the source. So the source, the database, it could be a database existing on the OTC, or it could be a database that you have on your company. And in the second part of DRS, you have to select which database you want, I mean source, and target database to make this in short. That is the example, and that will be exactly the way a migration should start.
Thank you, Hector.
Mhm.
Okay, I think we have no additional questions. So then we are at the end of today's webinar. Thank you to everyone who have participated here. Thank you for all the good questions, and maybe thank you to you, Hector, for being here, giving us a very good overview, some cool examples, and a big picture around what we are also planning here on a roadmap perspective. So with this, thank you all, and see you in the next webinar again. Same time, same date, last Friday of the month. Thank you a lot and see you. Bye.
Thank you so much to be here.